Nice of you to join me, and welcome to Downings, which is this delightful little harbour inside Sheephaven Bay, County Donegal in the northwest of Ireland. And I have just spent the last 3 hours grinding through traffic and slow roads to get here, but I'm really pleased that I have, because 2 weeks ago we had a huge storm. There was enormous damage. We didn't have any electricity for nearly a week. Last weekend there was another big weather system. It wasn't a storm, but it could well have been. And today, for the next few hours, it's calm. And this piece of water, this Sheephaven Bay, is well sheltered. There's no swell. It's a nice safe place to paddle on my own in the winter. And I'm going to have a little explore for an hour or two. Then I'm going to go and camp up for the night. One of those moments when life is just perfect. Time to get kitted up because it's really quite chilly. 5 degrees. Now, just before we go, I'll show you this wee pump. Sheephaven GM4XS. I bought this because the standard big pump takes up all the space in the back. But this one's clever, look. It folds down. Those are little handle extensions for the pumping action. I don't bother with them, it works perfectly well without. It's slightly harder work than a full-size pump, but I've just used it to blow the boat up and that worked great. And now it'll go in a dry bag. Along with my car keys. Yeah, there it is. Just fits neatly in the back of my x500. I'm impressed to bits with that. It's a great wee thing. Okay, time to get on the water before it gets dark. There we go. Down to the slipway. I've planned this trip for local high water, because where I want to go dries out into great big sandbanks, and that wouldn't be a lot of fun to explore. So I'm hoping I can float over the sand, and well, we'll see what we see. First of all, I've got to sprochel into this boat. Sprochel's a good Ulster Scots word for that movement when you're clambering and climbing into a boat and you're looking like a seal out of the water, which is the appearance I'm about to give as I get in here. So I won't inflict that on you. I'll chat to you when I'm on the water. Well, the sprocheling into the boat didn't go too badly at all, and I've even got the deck on. People are always asking, what deck do you use with the Itiwit x500, because Decathlon don't sell a deck for it anymore, at least certainly not in Ireland or the UK. So this is a Yak Zinc, I think. It did take me a few moments to force the elastic in under the deck, but because the elastic on this one's a bit thinner than most, it works really very well. One of the reasons I like this wee kayak, I can sit in here enclosed and it makes it suitable for on the sea. Right, let's show you something better than an old man trying to remember how to paddle a boat. So there's a trawler looking like she's getting ready to go out. and I'm right in the middle of the Boyd Lane at the moment, but there is no other traffic about, so I really don't need to worry about that. During the summer I'd be sneaking along outside the boys, and where you can see the sun hitting a beach ahead of us, that's roughly where I'm going. And there's a wee bit of wave and surf on that beach, but I'll stay away from it. I'm not in the mood for swimming today. Ah, lovely. Making great progress down into the bay. The water's getting quite shallow, and even though there was no swell in that sheltered wee harbour at Downings, now there's starting to be a bit of swell, and there's surf at the far end of the bay, so just going to have to put my wits about me. I don't think these are going to break, but I'll be careful. What I did want to just ask other people about is gloves. I paddle all year round, but today at 5 degrees I would consider that a cold day. I'm certainly not one of you mad Swedish types going out and breaking the ice. And I have a real problem with gloves, because when I first started sea kayaking, I was on a training session. We were doing landing onto a beach with a little bit of surf. I'd look at it now and think it was fairly benign, but I really didn't know how to handle a boat, so inevitably I was upside down, and with the rubbery neoprene gloves I was wearing, you know, the sort they sell for surfing, you know, board surfing, not boat surfing, the paddle just went straight out of my hands. I couldn't roll up. Actually, I'm not sure I could have rolled up then anyway. And I had these gloves on, so I couldn't feel for the release tab on the deck. And I was starting to panic, and I was starting to run out of air. And I could feel my consciousness starting to fade, when I realised I didn't need the tab. I could just kick and work my legs and more or less stand up in the boat. And of course the deck popped off. I came out and was able to breathe. But since then I have never worn gloves. So I'm using these pokies. I think they're pretty good. They certainly keep my hands warm today. I've stopped using them right now. But they're not as warm as a pair of gloves. So, what do other people do? What sort of gloves work for you? Or is it just me? Do I need to try them again and get over it? I'd be very interested to know what you say. Well, that's been lovely. This is where I wanted to go. If I just point you away from the sun, you can see that little bit not very attractive concrete building. That's Ards Priory. And again, I really don't know what's the difference between a priory and a monastery and a convent, but that one's a priory. Obviously it's a Catholic church and a place where monks and nuns live. And it's in a beautiful spot, deep inside Sheephaven Bay. And as you can see, there's woods fringing the shoreline, and there's little low cliffs, and there's tiny beaches. But what makes this place really beautiful is the sense of spiritual peace that radiates from it. there are many other places here that look just as beautiful, especially on a bright blue day like this. But Ards is the place you come for a calm, contemplative walk, or today, calm, contemplative paddle. This is definitely restoring my soul. And it amazes me that I'm the only person. Oh no, there's 2 people walking, good for them. I'm certainly the only person out enjoying the water today. I don't know if that says something about me or about everybody else. I'm quite enjoying the solitude. Now, apart from your company, of course, it's lovely to have you with me. Maybe you can see that surf directly in front of me. It's not all that close, but as I was coming down, I was heading due south, I had to turn starboard and go a little bit west into this deep water channel where a small river comes out, because even though there was no swell in the main bay, what little swell there is kicking up into lots of broken waves on that sandbar. And that was definitely not a place to take myself on a cold day and an inflatable boat. It might be a place to explore in the summer if I've got company. And there's some fairly big stuff. I know it doesn't look big on the camera if you can see it at all. Now I'm just bouncing around in some slightly disturbed water. That's where the stream from the small river is meeting the tide. It's all very gentle. I think I'll just explore this bit of the bay and make sure I'm well away from all the shallow stuff, because as the tide goes out, those waves are going to move closer to me and they're going to get bigger, and I'd really rather not be sat in the middle of them. Oh, do you know what? I'm curious. I'm in this slightly broken water. There's a bit of stream from that river just pushing me back out towards the sea. Yeah, the water's not fresh water, but it's not very salty either. Interesting. Well, to a nerd like me, that's interesting. Let's keep going. Oh, look at that. You could have your own beach. There's another one for me just around the corner, so you can have this one. Beautiful place. Oh, we're past that wee sandy beach. In an area with lovely little low cliffs covered in heather. Bathed in late afternoon sun as well. And I need to be careful for a moment, if there's a submerged reef ahead of me and there's a navigation marker telling me to go outside it. Obvious, it's there for bigger boats than this. I think I'll take the hint. Water's already changed in here. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit you on the head. Water's already changed in here. move outside. Surface of the water here, the whole ripple pattern changes just around the rock, so not too hard to see it and get away from it. And a strange comical navigation marker. Okay, let's move. In Ireland, all the navigation markers are managed by Irish Lights, and that includes the areas of coast in Northern Ireland where I live, which is part of the United Kingdom. So it's a great example of an outbreak of common sense and cooperation in a part of the world that isn't always famous for that. And there aren't many of those green conical markers left. You won't find information about that on charts or books about navigation, because they're not the standard cardinal marks. They're just what the Victorians put in various places to mark hazards like a rock. There used to be one near us on some offshore rocks known as the Storks, but a storm took it away, 5 or 6 years ago, and we've got a modern flashing navigation buoy. Of course, it's a good thing. I think the Victorians had a certain style with their cast iron green cones. Right on the horizon, that's the mouth, the opening of Sheephaven Bay. It's about 2 nautical miles across. And on the left there, that's Horn Head. That's a fantastic place to explore. It's all cliffs and arches and caves. Definitely not going there today. Oh, I love that sound. Sea just washing over another reef. Beautiful. Right. Back across the bay. Fishing boats, they're not actually trawlers, they're grabbing boats, they're loading up with creels. Huge! There must be 200-300 creels loaded onto that boat. A lovely wee paddle. Now it's time to find somewhere to park up for the night. Well, as I say find somewhere, I've got somewhere to go. It's just that I forgot the key to get through the gate, but the owner said he'd let me in. and there's a lovely little road round the coast to get there. You're going to like this bit. Well, that's been a just brilliant day. Wee paddle in winter sunshine. Heating up my dinner. I'm committing cookery, as my lovely family like to say. I've been sat outside watching the stars come out. I had the moon, Jupiter, Venus, Mars. The lighthouses are starting to show. And for a few precious hours, all I have to do is be. This is fun. Are you back? Well, sorry, but you'll have to get your own. Keep it between ourselves. I'm eating straight out of the saucepan. This is proper camping, it's survival. I've got to keep my energy up. And there's nobody to tell me off. And the wee action camera won't pick it up, but I'm sat in the doorway looking at the sky, looking at the stars, looking at the lights blinking over the water, listening to the waves on the beach. I hope you feel my pain and suffering, because actually this is tough. This doesn't come easy. Yeah, right. Okay. And then it's only 6:30 at night, but I think I'll probably make the bed up and indulge in some trashy reading. Good night.